Hey guys, I'm IzDaisho and I'm here bringing you a little bit of a post-commentary for this Hearthstone match. I played it the other day, like last week, and then I just went to look at the file and I realized that I was smart enough to not record any audio for the next like hour and a half of Nax gameplay that I have, so get used to it. It's going to be like this for a little while. Try not to spoil it while I'm commentating. I used to do this all the time, so hopefully I should be okay. But anyway, I was having a lot of trouble with this dude. The 45 health, meaning that I have to do more than just 30 damage, so I can't play something like Miracle Rogue, which just straight up does 40 damage, 45 damage or whatever. He also is pretty aggressive. I mean, he's got these creatures. They're not like the best creatures, 2/2s, or I mean, that guy becomes pretty efficient when you start playing some Death Rattle guys. But he plays the 1/3 for 2 that blows up everything else when it dies. He plays the Abomination 4/4 that kills a bunch of things. So yeah, you have to actually deal with stuff pretty quickly. Necro Knight is a perfect example. You actually have to have removal. You can't have you have to have 1-for-1 removal as well. And then he's got that crazy hero ability that makes 5/5, so you can't trade early on and expect to get away with that, because anytime one of your creatures is going to die, he's going to get a free 5/5. And then finally, I tried to use Handlock, but that didn't work because he has that 6 mana card that kills all non-skeletons. So it was definitely a struggle, and one day I was just thinking about it, and the reason why I had initially said Freeze Mage wasn't a great idea was because that you usually can only deal about 30. I mean, you can do more than that, but you generally only want to deal 30 damage, so Freeze Mage isn't really a great option most of the time. But then I remembered, excuse me, sorry, that Freeze Mage plays Alexstrasza, so I can just get the first 30 points of damage as if it was just the first 15. Normally you just play Alexstrasza when they're at 30, and now I just do it when they're at 45, so it's essentially the same thing. One thing that I didn't really take into account was this card, Counterspell. So he plays a bunch of Mage Secrets, including Counterspell as one of them, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, Arcane Intellect is really, really good in this style deck. I was hoping that he would attack with the Abomination first so I can get both of them for free. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, basically just freeze my opponent for as long as possible and then try and kill him with Alexstrasza was the general idea. I figured, I don't know, I mean, so you've got your Frost Novas, your Cone of Colds, your Blizzards. One thing that I did note was that Flame Strike kills almost every card in his deck. It's like everything except for Spectral Knight and Deathbringer Knight, or whatever that thing's called. But yeah, so I had to do something here, and I didn't want to just burn a freeze on those two creatures. At some point I'm going to have to do something like that, but I didn't really feel like it was that point yet. So right here, it's an interesting situation. I drew the Flame Strike, so it made it pretty obvious. But if I do kill the ghoul with the Cone of Cold, then the Spectral Knight's going to be down to 4 health, and I'm going to be able to Flame Strike it next turn. Unfortunately, my opponent's got that Counterspell again. That's really unfortunate. I just don't want to see him play Counterspell pretty much ever, and the fact that he did kind of sucks. So I mean, I could have used a Frost Nova, but I figured that taking 6 damage isn't actually the worst thing ever, and I can probably get away with it. And he goes ahead and plays 2 Secrets here, which is kind of rough, because I really just don't know what they possibly could be here. And I decide to go down to 1, thinking that my opponent didn't really have any ways to burn me out. I can't remember. I think that deck does play Soulfire, though I could be mistaken. That could have been a different version, or a different deck, because I actually haven't played this one in a while. But yeah, I mean, I'm really thinking about just using this Frost Nova, and I end up using it just to save that 1 life. Obviously, I can't use save the 4 life rather. Sorry, I can't use Ice Lance. What does he do here? Yeah, all right. So I was hoping that he would make his Spectral Knight a little bit bigger, but he didn't. Or if he made it a 5/4, I can just sweep the board with the Flame Strike. So yeah, I mean, oh, actually, what I did think, which is definitely a valid point, which I hadn't thought of again until just now, is the reason why I did end up killing his dude with Frost Nova, or freezing his guy, was because he had those Crazed Alchemists in hand, so he could just swap the power and toughness and kill me with that. So yeah, not ideal. So right here, I think it's a little bit safer to make this play, just because even if, or my opponent can't swap health anymore, and I don't know if there's any way in that deck to even pump up his guy or deal extra damage. But he just ends up playing a lot of Skeletal Smiths here and taking me to 1, but not cracking my ice block. So it's a very good situation for me, and with all of his guys being 4/3s, I can just flame strike him out. And at this point, he's already used a couple of whatever they're called, a couple of counter spells, so I don't think he has any more in the deck. The main problem with going down to 1 here is that I want to just Pyroblast him probably in this spot. Maybe not, I don't know, maybe I would just wait to draw Alexstrasza and not waste any of that burn damage, but I actually just need to kill his guys as they come out. So he's got 2 cards in hand, which is not too bad, but I don't really want to just Flame Strike and use the hero ability, just in case in a future turn he does play 2 or 3 cards in one turn. So I end up Pyroblasting here because I figure I'll probably only need 1 of these anyway. If I get my Alexstrasza, which is the most likely way that I can win this one, then I probably won't even need the second one. And here I draw my second ice block, which is pretty fortunate, but again, I really I need to stop that thing from hitting me. If that thing hits me, or I mean in this situation I would really like a polymorph, because otherwise he's just gonna blow up my ice block. But he makes a crazy play here and using his plague to just kill his own guy, but little does he know that I actually have an ice block, so not really gonna be a concern of mine. But again, he plays that one power guy, or yeah, that 1 power guy, so I mean I can play the ice block out, but it's gonna be really annoying here if he just attacks me and breaks it next turn. So what do I end up doing here? I do it Flame Strike? Wow, okay, yeah, so I mean again, I just need to get these guys off the board any way I can. Another play could have just been to Ice Lance it, but I was saving the Ice Lance in case I get like Alexstrasza and the next turn I want to Frostbolt and Ice Lance or something like that. There, I finally draw the Alexstrasza, and I've got a couple options here. I could either, okay, so I can Alexstrasza myself, and sorry about that buzzing if it was really loud. I can Alexstrasza myself, and he's going to have a lot of trouble killing me, but then it's going to take me a long time to kill him. I already used one of my Pyroblasts, and I mean, I have an Ice Lance in hand. I haven't used one yet, so if I do draw that Frostbolt, then I can definitely get there pretty soon. But here, just the ability to play Alexstrasza and Ice Lance means that I get to keep my my Ice Block for another turn, and I still have the kill this turn. So I misplay a little bit here. Well, not actually, because so the reason why I attack first is to play around Vaporize. But right before I cast this Pyroblast, I realize that my opponent most likely has an Ice Block, and that's what he does have. But yeah, so I was playing it around Vaporize by attacking first, because if I didn't have the kill, I probably didn't want to Pyroblast him that turn, because I don't actually have any way to kill him the next turn. So yeah, that would have been a little bit unfortunate. But he gets a couple of draws here, one off the. Yeah, so he had 1 off the Cult Master and 1 off of the Acolyte of Pain, and he actually hits the card that he needs, and all I draw is a Polymorph here. But again, I'm not really dead, because I do have this Ice Barrier, as well as I just have a Blizzard, which I can use here. So I have options to not die, and because I don't think that my opponent has even a haste creature, I'm just going to ping him upstairs and drop the Cobalt Geomancer. I want to be able to start getting the beats down, and I mean, if I hit him for another 3 next turn, then I might be able to buy enough time with Ice Barrier and the Polymorph. But him playing that Spectral Knight kind of leads me to believe that I don't have any other options, but luckily I do get the top deck there. I probably could have played the last couple of turns a little bit differently. I could have like played Ice Barrier instead of playing Freeze that turn and not drop the Cobalt, but it ended up working out because I was actually able to kill him with that, and I would have been able to do so anyway. I could have just played both of my guys and then pinged him and killed him, or both of my spell damage +1 guys. So yeah, I mean, that was the game. It was the first game that I played with this Freeze Mage deck against this guy, so I definitely recommend going for it. Alex Straza is really just a godsend in this matchup, and just being able to do that kind of makes it unfair and puts you in a much better position than you should have been. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.